beautiful and talented Gloria Ines.
Hi.
You play Olivia,
Mm-hmm.
a very complex and honest character. So let's begin there. Tell me what drives Olivia.
So Olivia is wicked smart. Like, she is this young high school student that's a science fair champ and loves to learn. And what I love about Olivia is, like, yes, she's timid and non-confrontational, but Olivia, like, she loves to learn, right? She wants to understand people, and she's constantly observing. And so despite, her being a little bit of an internal person and kind of keeping things in, she's also taking in everything, the entire world. And so that's something that I love about her.
It sounds like you know her really, really well.
I would like to think so. Yeah, I relate to her so deeply, and something that really drew me to this story is, like, not only is it like a Latino story, and the families are so complex and nuanced. So you have two opposing sides of a family, right? Yet they're estranged, and they're estranged for such an interesting reason of, like, I don't want to live this life anymore, and I don't want my child to be surrounded by those people. But then, as we see in the bedroom scene, like, even though they are estranged, this cousin Tanya loves her cousin.
I know.
And she is just reminding her that, yeah, we're family, we don't see each other, but we take care of each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I love that about Olivia, that she doesn't see her cousin as an other. That, no, I need some guidance here, and I don't know where to get it from, so I'm gonna go to my big cousin. I'm gonna go to my prima and be like, yo, what's up? I don't get it. Help me.
That was such a beautiful scene in the bedroom. It felt like you were there in the room watching. It was so intimate.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working with Ana Marte? Because you both seem like you're such generous actors.
Thank you. And it was wonderful. I loved working with her. I think that Anna, she set the tone of, like, we're going to play, okay? We're going to have a good time, and we're going to play, and we're going to bounce off of each other. She, her ad-libbings were great. And she just has such a deep capacity for emotion. So it's really, honestly, a privilege when you get to have that other person in the room with you that's really taking you in.
I know that I haven't been around much, that you and I haven't been seeing each other, but Mommy, you're family. And family takes care of each other. Y la familia se cuida.
And in that scene, I think that we really understand how strong and forceful family love can be. And I think that it kind of surprises Ollie. Like, it kind of is like, whoa, oh my gosh, like, this is some deep love, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to take it. And yeah, let's go kick their ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And, well, your cousin definitely did.
Yeah.
She stood up for you, and it was a really raw scene. I was talking to Ana Marte about it.
Mm-hmm.
You were looking at it from a little bit outside in, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that scene like? What was the dynamic? Because there's a lot of moments where we see your reactions, and you just have this feeling as a viewer when you're looking at that and seeing your reactions. It was just, I felt so deeply for your character.
Yeah, I think in that scene it's so interesting because Olivia, I think in her whole trajectory in the story is like, I need my dignity back. I need my self-respect back. How do I get it? And so when she's, she gets that from her cousin Tanya, and they're having this altercation with this girl, I think it's Olivia's going through, like, okay, now is my time. This is my chance to get my self-respect. And then in the midst of the fight, it's like, no, this isn't me. This actually is not who I am as a person. So I think that there's this horror of what am I capable of? What am I capable of doing to another person? And is this what I need to do in order to get that dignity back? So I think that's kind of what Olivia was going through in that moment.
Oh, you're crying? You're crying? Stop! Get off me! The fuck off me! I'm trying to fucking help you!
Do you think she did get her dignity back?
I think so. I think that there were consequences to that, though. There were, That's interesting. Maybe not, because that's not necessarily the MO that Olivia has, right? Is like, oh, someone hurt me, let me hurt them back. I think it's more of like, okay, now I walk away. And so because she didn't do that, I think maybe it's something of, well, I'm just processing this right now. Yeah, I think that she learns in the end that I can stick up for myself, but I don't need to detract from who I am as a person. That doesn't need to, I don't need to take anything away from who I am in order to still have that respect for myself. That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I love the father-daughter relationship here
Yeah.
in this episode too. That scene in the car, inside and outside the car. Wow. I honestly, I was afraid. I thought it was going to get physical between you and the father. So what was that? What was going through your mind? How did you approach that scene?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Ronan, such an amazing actor to act across from. He gives so much, and he's such a hard worker.
Hector!
I think you're so tough. Get out. Get out. Get out. You're so tough. Get out.
Fuck you!
Don't fucking tell me. Don't
Stop,
tell me.
stop.
And in that scene, I think it's a little glimmer of like, no, Dad, I know. You don't know. I know. Okay. And then he's like, well, let me slow your roll real quick and give you a little reality check of, if you have two paths here, like, where do you want to end up? And I think that Olivia, I think she clocks that of like, okay, here's some wisdom here. Yeah, you're right. That is not who I am. But also, my cousin, what's going to happen to Tanya? And I think that despite this whole thing that happened, she rekindles this love for her cousin, and she's not going to let herself forget her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful that it plays on these family dynamics of how we are to love one another, no matter where we come from or who we are. It's love, it's so important.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a heavy, heavy, heavy episode. A lot of emotions, right? So was there room for fun, funny bloopers? I hear that Ronan is, he's funny behind the scenes.
Oh, he was cracking me up in our dinner table scene. I know for sure I had to like get it together and be like, some other moments were with the boys, and it's like, it's like the crack of dawn. But the ad-libbing that they were having was like, get her number, dude, get her number. Like they just really encapsulate like the misfits, and you really believe, like they're just a group of guys and they're so funny. And I love the rap scene too, and their little quips were really funny with each other. And yeah, so those are definitely like my highlights.
That's really nice. That was my next question. What do you recall, and what do you remember from filming?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that stayed with you?
The prayer that Abuelita does. I think that was so sweet and funny, and like, just don't let them come back with bruises, please God. And so I loved working with Liliana too. She was great.
Yeah, she speaks very highly of both you and Ana as well.
How sweet.
So how does Gloria Ines prepare for a role?
That's a great question. So something that I like to do is, well, first of all, just know the words in my bones, because then that's when you have room to play. And I know, a lot of actors will attest to that. And then I think it's just research, knowing the world. Where do I live? What does my day look like? And then after you do all that homework, you just let it go and just forget about it, and then just be with that other person that's, you're in the scene with.
Yeah, you did the hard work. Now you just let it all go and allow yourself to be in the moment.
Yeah.
What about memorizing? Is there a technique specific to you, or does it vary per role?
I think it does vary. It depends on the language. Some things are easier to memorize than others. Definitely repetition. And then also like, what am I talking about? I think that's the easiest way. It's just like understanding like, what am I talking about? What do I want? And who is this relationship I have with this other person? Yeah.
What about your experience working with Katrina Cebreiro, the writer, creator?
I love Katrina so much. I can't even tell you how much I love it, and I want to work with her again. And she's just, not only did she create this wonderful story that I think is so layered and nuanced, but she's just a really great collaborator, and just, you know, really hears what you're saying and digests it, and okay, where do we go from here? And an example I can give you from that is that final moment when I have this photo of me and my cousin, and I don't know if you recall, but we had a conversation about like, what does it mean if I put it in the drawer? What does it mean if I put the picture on the mirror? And I had this thought, like, what if we put it in a book? It's not necessarily me shutting my cousin away or idolizing that lifestyle, but it's something that I can look back to.
Yeah.
And then just being able to have that just really open conversation with Katrina and like, what are we saying in this story was just, it's a gift because you don't always get that with your director.
Yeah.
And then being the writer too, and like being able to talk story is just, it's just a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a very gifted actress.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
What's
you.
next for you for Gloria Ines?
So right now, I'm in a play at the Road Theater Company. It's called Bisexual Sadness. And then I will be in their next play in this season called Mercury by Steve Yockey. And that will be opening in January. So.
You are busy.
Yeah. I love it.
That's wonderful. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just that I'm really grateful to have been a part of such a, you know, rich story and to work with such a wonderful cast. Everyone was so delightful, and working with the crew and just bringing like Latino stories to light and letting people flex their muscles and show us what you got on the big silver screen is something that I don't take lightly, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and all the best to you in your future endeavors.
You as well.